All right. So welcome to week 3. Currently, we have a working to-do app, but now we're going to transition into some, I guess, intermediate concepts inside of JavaScript. We're going to go from global variables into like an object-oriented approach to a to-do list with basically a to-do app object that contains properties and methods to store all of the kind of information inside of one um, object. And so this is, again, starting to push the limits of my understanding. I've studied all these concepts before. Really implementing them for the first time in the absence of a traditional course is it's not really something that I've done. So if you made it this far, just a quick uh, recap of what I'm trying to accomplish. I want to create the JavaScript course I was always looking for, kind of a hands-on approach, a constantly doing and iterating on a simple single idea, not going through a big learn JavaScript course where you kind of learn all these individual examples about different features and then implement a big project that just kind of has everything already done for you. I wanted to start from something very small and to end up with something very big in a sense that you had really been a part of it the entire way and that you saw the process of struggle that I think is um, inherent in uh, coding, but that makes a person feel really stupid when they've just seen somebody do it perfectly so much. And it's, for me, it was kind of like, how can they do that? Or, I'm not that smart, or I'm not capable of doing it. But I guess what I was not seeing was all of the struggle that they had to get to that point, all the looking up of things and making mistakes. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is really showcase that. So first thing we want to do is we want to look up um, how to create an object in JavaScript. Because right now what we have is like we said, a working app, test 2. And we can delete things, we can clear all the to-dos, we can say that we need to create an object, add this to um, our app, and so on. So let's jump in and kind of look at our code a little bit. So right now we've got our to-dos, and if we're starting from scratch, it's just basically an empty array. And we've got some functions. Now, I do know that when we're talking about objects, functions that are associated with an object are called methods. So we're going to be creating an object. Let's see what we've got here. So several ways to create an object in JavaScript. Object literals, the simplest and most common method. So we're just going to define it. Or using the object constructor. So we make a new object. This method creates an empty object, and then properties are added using dot notation or bracket notation. I think we can, for this, I think for this we want to use a constructor function. But that's probably what we'll do eventually. I think for now, what we're going to do is something like this. Just create or define it and do an object literal. It says it's the simplest and most common method. So let's try that. So here we're going to say const person equals, and we're using curly braces here. And then we've got key value pairs here. So the key is first name. This is a property. And then here's the value, so key value. And then when we get down to our methods, we're just going to say that this is a function. We'll define the function here. So let's jump into our code and start just simply working with an object. So we're going to create a to-do at object. So what do we learn? So we're going to say const to-do at, and we're going to use a, what do we call this? A primitive? No, not a primitive. A literal object literal. Okay, so we're going to create an object literal, and then inside of here, we're going to tell it our things. So we're going to have to do at list. Do we have to say to do at? Or we just say list? I think we had list equals an empty array. And what else are we going to have in our to do at? We have maybe a length. But so I don't know if we're going to need a length. It seems like we can just, because we have an array, we can get the length pretty easily. Let's just start in with our methods. We don't really have anything else. So we've got our list. And what were our functions? We've got a save list. Those were our data functions. Let's start off with add to do. So add to do. We said it was going to be a function. And it was going to do like space console log. This method will add a to do to our to do app object. That was a little verbose, but that's what we want. That's what it's going to do. And then we're going to have delete to do. That's going to be another function. And do it like that. Oh no. And then we're basically going to copy this whole thing. Nested will remove a to do from our to do object. All right, so we are basically starting from scratch here. So if we run this and go back to our console, can we do to do app dot add to do? Yeah, all right, so that's working. So let's say to do app. Where's to do? We have a list. and it's an empty array. So I guess when it comes down to it, we're gonna just move our old function or just copy our old function in there. So let's say we have this add to do. We don't really have a to-dos anymore. And so I think that's where we kind of need this idea of this. Because like we need to, we've got this list now. I guess this really shouldn't be called list to-dos. Because that was, I don't, did we have it called list? It used to be called to-dos. So we can use this to-dos push to do. And the to do is going to be passed in here. And what do we have for save list? Now, the save list it really should have been called save to do's. And it's going to be a function. And we said really it's just local storage dot set item. And we've got to stringify the to-dos. This dot to-dos. I think that's enough. We use, instead of save to-dos, should we use set to-dos? But I guess we can just use retrieve still. We said local storage get item. And for this, we did JSON.parse. And we wanted to do what did we call it? Was it just to do? To do data. To-do data. To-do data. I should have been to-dos data. Well, let's call this to-dos data. All right. Get item, string find, set item. Oh, so I think when we're setting, we have to say to-do data. Say what we're setting. I remember that right? Yeah. So here. This was just an example. I don't really need this anymore. Okay. So we can add to-dos, or now we need to delete a to-do. We did our delete to-do done, right? Which we called remove to-do. Remove to-do. So, all right, so remove to-do is going to be this dot to do splice, and then the index is going to be whatever we pass in. Okay, and we're going to return the remove to do. All right, so we've got our save list, we've got retrieve list, we've got add to do, remove to do, show to do. Show to do's is quite a bit, isn't it? All we have to do is show to, and we have stuff like handle add to do, and we have add. Let's do show to do's first, and then that will be our stopping point for today. We'll get a shot. To do's equal retrieve list. Oh, I think that we have to do that. I comment that part out because we've got this dot to do's. I could be making a mistake. I think there was a reason why we hold the, I think anytime we save a to do or we delete a to do, we have to both save it and we delete something. Oh, now that we need to retrieve a list. To do list element inner HTML, we clear it. This to do's for each to do. And then this should all be the same. I don't think there's anything for us to do there. Why doesn't this work? Why? Did I not copy all the right stuff down there? I must have messed this up. To-do list element. Let's see what we got. Let's get rid of world. All right. So let's check on our to-dos. We've got to-dos app. Let's add a to-do. Add to-do. And we'll say we need to classic put up the chickens. List save to do app dot to do. All right, we got put up the chickens. So can we now do's dot app do's app go to out to do go to. Now this I'm thinking is gonna replace create an object with put up the chickens, but then if I refresh, it's gonna put that back. This is working really well so far. We didn't test delete or save. I mean, the save to dos seems to be working. We could try this. The show to dos is working. We don't know about save to dos yet. Well, we are saving list. To do things. This should be this dot save to dos. This dot to dos. Delete to dos needs to be the same. Save to dos. Set to dos data. Let's try it. All right. So to do that, let's add a to do. Put up the chickens. The do app dot do, and we want to do app retrieve do do's data as not valid JSON token. Let's check it out. Our student this dot to do's. Well, we're gonna have to go into our source. Use app here. That's the chicken. Local storage. How do I see? Wow, I have no idea what this stuff is. Okay. That did not really help me. That took me so far outside what was happening. Now I want to retrieve the local storage, get item, JSON, parse. I must not be doing it correctly. Let's look back at how we did it. Okay, so when we're getting JSON parse, local storage, get item to do data. JSON.parse. Is that what I'm doing? JSON.parse. Local storage get item to do data. I'm doing something different. Okay. Parsing the wrong thing. I need to parse this like that. So I get the item to do data out it, and it was stored as a string, and then I'm going to parse the string into JSON. Okay, this should work now. Okay, so what do we have? Console app, do that, add to do. Dang it. Okay. Let's take out this breakpoint. We don't need it more. Let's just play it. Do that. Let's show do's. About the chickens. So, all right. So now we've got this, and we need to keep. We've got this data structure, and now we need to start to replace it in our app, so that all of our. We need to go down to our app section, and we need to start using the to-do instead of the globals that we had created. And we'll go from there. We'll do that with day 2 tomorrow. Hope that you learned a lot, or inspired to do your own thing, and to get your hands dirty, to look things up, and to try to use the console debugger, which that was kind of crazy. See you tomorrow.